How's it going, everyone? Tyler here with another commentary track for you. I'm pretty excited about what we're watching today. We are watching not one, not two. We are watching all four of the Three Ninja films. So we're starting with Three Ninjas. Got Knuckle Up, Kickback, High Noon at Mega Mountain. A lot of good stuff coming. I'm a huge fan of this film series. Watched it a bunch growing up. Loved all the karate action. So I guess without further ado, let's just get into this first one. In order to make sure you are syncing up the commentary track with the movie itself, get past the Touchstone Pictures logo. So the one at the very start of the film, once that logo fully fades to black, you can press play on this commentary track. But for now, just press pause. All right, so yeah, Three Ninjas. You got Rocky, Colt, Tum Tum. I loved it a lot, mainly because I would say the grandpa in this movie reminded me a lot of my own grandpa growing up. My grandfather was very Japanese, looked pretty similar to this guy. He didn't teach me karate, but he was super chill, and I loved hanging out with him. So yeah, it's fun. This is most definitely trying to capitalize on the Karate Kid hype of, I don't know, karate's big right now. It's Southern California. We got these white kids that want to learn how to fight. There was this Karate Kids, Surf Ninjas, Pocket Ninjas. There were so many movies around this era that were just little kids fighting bad guys with karate. I know they do this voiceover stuff for this movie. The second one, I don't think they really do it in Kick. Yeah, they don't do it in Kickback or Mega Mountain at all. But yeah, this and Knuckle Up, they do this kind of same framing device of, yeah, we're training with our grandpa, we're having a cool summer, and then some crazy shit goes down. I guess that's the other reason why I like this movie a lot is it's a kids movie, but it's not necessarily like, damn, I don't know. How do I say it? I mean, it's made for kids, but it's not like a kids subject matter film. It just is a movie that stars kids. It's very blank check. So like blank check is a kid who gets $1 million and he's being followed by criminals and they want to like kill him essentially and get their money back. This is a bunch of kids doing karate, but then they have to deal with like really serious crime lords and like underground ninja armies. It gets really intense for children. Yeah, here we go. Here's a little fun little action scene to show off the stunt doubles and everyone being able to do some good stunt work here. Some of the action is the kids though. I know for sure that Rocky and Colt clearly have some like gymnastics and maybe some like martial arts training a little bit because they're able to actually do some good flips and some good moves that you could tell it's them on screen doing it. Yeah, I love it that it's whenever the grandpa stunt double is on screen though, it is very clearly a young man with like a fake belly and a old man makeup. We almost had you. at me. Pancake by now. And something I've always mentioned in these movies, the kid actors, it's always like a hit or miss kind of thing. Sometimes they can really sell it. Sometimes they are just awful and it's like their first movie and that you can never fault a kid for that. They are children. They're not being directed well. They just don't really know what they're doing in a scene half the time. But these kids are really really good. They carry this franchise on their shoulders. These masks are so cool. I really wanted to get some, but no one would have any idea what they were. But that would be such a cool like wall displays to have the three ninja masks or something. Colt. I like their nicknames. Rocky, Colt, Tum Tum. I think in one of the movies, Colt gets shit for his nickname. I think it might be the third one, but Colt's a pretty dope nickname. I love this. Yeah, the fake out of he has a dangerous job and it cuts to him as a limo driver. But now you're like, oh wait, what? Ninjas, weapon boxes. What's going on? A dapper man in an all white suit and a ponytail. He's definitely got to be a bad guy. I mean, they nailed it. They cast the perfect rat faced looking dude to play the villain. uh, Even as maybe not necessarily a kid, but growing up watching this movie, this felt like a lazy disguise. Like it's pretty obvious that it's a man in like a FBI suit, and then they just put a sheet and a belt over his head. Like it's so funny that that dude is supposed to be passing for like a Saudi Arabian prince right now, or like some like oil baron. Because yeah, like the mustache isn't even part of the costume. That's just his mustache. Wow. What the fuck just happened? They had to jump and then they still let this dumbass just let himself get knocked out and taken hostage. Nice of you to drop in. Oh yeah. Gotta love that late 80s, early 90s synth techno score. So are the tops real bills or are they fake bills? They must be real bills. Okay, so I've already noticed a few differences. One thing I wanted to mention while watching this is I had it on VHS growing up. I watched that VHS 50, 100 times maybe. Who knows? It was an obscene amount. I watched that VHS tape. Eventually, I got around to watching it on like a digital platform, like a streaming service, and realized my VHS copy had been completely re-edited, and so many things were cut out and shifted around and completely changed most of the movie for me. One thing there is like those guys showing up with the guns and putting them up against the wall. That was never in the copy I watched. And the biggest difference that completely shocked me is there's a basketball game at the school. I have no idea why the VHS copy re-edits that entire basketball game so that the boys win and don't lose and lose their bikes. My only understanding for that could be is that at the very end of the movie, there's like a little post-credit sting of them beating up the bullies to get their bikes back, and they must have. I'm pretty sure they cut that for the VHS because I never saw it. So yeah, I'm assuming they cut that and had to cut the boys losing their bikes, or else you'd be wondering like, well, did they get their bikes back? Okay, so yeah, a little bit of a rant there. I'm sorry. I'll probably talk more about it when the basketball game actually happens. He's got Eugene Levy as his lackey. I'm always a big fan of the little sidekick wormy guys like this. The dudes that are like way out of their depth and have no place being in like the criminal world, and they just are and are a number two kind of guy. Damn, grandma was looking like that. He totally hooked up with like an 80s hair model. That's crazy. That seems like a very impractical way to toss around noodles, dude. Ugh, God, Tum Tum. Tum Tum manages to like hurt my stomach at in certain moments. Just seeing this tiny kid grab so much food. 'Cause he's part of nature. Ninja never fights a battle if he cannot win. Four strands of rope. So they bring it up in this movie, the four strands of rope, but then they really bring it home in the third one, Kickback. That's like the whole that's like the whole crux of the movie is the four strands of rope and like being there for each other. Woo! Four strands of rope. Let's go. I'll have to keep an eye. I know it's a big part of 3. I don't remember being a part of Knuckle Up, but damn, you know you're in trouble when Grandpa hits you with the shut up. Another little great action scene coming in. We haven't had one really since the opening montage. And this is a good one, man. This is a good showing of like what the grandpa can do, what the kids can do, the different styles of like the grandpa is just a straight up like he fights. The kids do a little bit more wacky, kid kid friendly fighting. I love it. They're very Jackie Chan. If you want to compare, they're like they use props, they use things around them. They like are jumping around, diving under things. They are That's how Jackie Chan fights in movies, and I absolutely love it. Like that is such a Jackie Chan thing. Like he would grab two potters and just start swinging around and hitting guys, or he'd be doing something like this. It's this is the '90s shtick that I fucking love. Like you can't think about it. Like these professional trained killer ninjas are getting bested by kids, but it's hysterical and it's awesome. So yeah, that's a line that's cut. Him saying face. They usually just cut after he taps him on the glasses on the VHS. I'm just gonna be pointing out all the differences between this and the VHS copy I watched. I think it cuts down on the fighting a lot too. You know what? It could have just been that the VHS needed to be cut down for time, because that's something that kids today will have no idea what I'm talking about. VHS tapes could only hold a certain amount of tape on it before you needed to get another one. So instead of having this movie be broken up on one tape and then the last 5 minutes being on a second tape, maybe they just had to cut 5 minutes out. Okay, but this is why I love these movies. These action scenes are so good. Like if for a kids movie, one, they are very well choreographed, very well shot, and two, just for being like a super low budget movie, they do a lot of stuff with it. They're able to make use of the spaces, they're able to make use of the props and the set dressing around the area. Damn good movies, man. I hope people are fans of these movies and everyone's going to enjoy watching along with these ones because I fucking love these and I feel like not a lot of people talk about them or mention them that much. Not murder. I can see my younger self glazing over on the scene. Cuz I don't think the drama of the grandpa knowing Snyder and all of that stuff really sinking in until I got older. I'm pretty sure once if it wasn't an action scene, my brain was not paying attention. I'd be running into the kitchen getting snacks right now probably. Ooh. Sam Douglas. Get him out of my life. Great bad guy. I noticed when they were getting their masks that Rocky had a bit of a like bloody lip, and he has a bloody lip now. I wonder if they re-edited that and they were supposed to get their masks after that. Cuz story-wise that does feel like a better place of like all right, you guys have actually done some solid work. You fought some bad guys and you walked into danger not knowing like that you could win, but to like just to help me. So I'll give you guys some masks and some ninja names now. But it works that they get it earlier too. It's just part of their training with Grandpa, so it could fit anywhere really. But that was literally something I just noticed on this watch through that Rocky had a bit of a bloody lip, and I think it was after they fight the ninjas and then they go and get masks. I love that. Here, here, and here. Yeah, it's great because it is kind of teaching higher level of martial arts with like pressure points and like knowing that hitting a person here is going to hurt, but hitting a person there is going to knock them the fuck out. Covered with blood, I shot my poor teacher with a 44 stud. Now, I do remember those little sing-songy things being very popular in elementary school. I'm so curious if kids are still doing that. If it just gets passed on generation to generation. 'Cause, I mean, that's how we hear about it. You hear the older kids that learned it the previous years saying it, and then you say it to the younger kids when you're older, and it just kind of passes on that way. So it's got to still be around. He'll eat anything. Yeah, what's wrong with having a nickname, Dick? Typical workaholic dad, never around for the kids. Yeah, every dad in the '90s has got to be working too hard, but still thinks he can give input on how his family is raised. It's like, dude, you're never here. You can't give us 5 seconds of parental advice every day, and then that's all we see you. Good on you, Rocky. You're selling the awkwardness. He's great. Surprisingly, the youngest of the three kids is the most natural. Now's a good time to get into it. The three kids, they nailed them. The casting is perfect. You got Rocky, the headstrong older brother. You got Colt, the kind of moody middle brother. And then Tum Tum, just the goofy younger brother. And these kids really nail those parts, and they make those characters come alive, truly. Because they could easily just be three generic kids that all act the same, but they all have very distinct characters and personalities, and they are acted very well. I love these guys. They are the best part of this movie. Hands down, the first Three Ninjas movie would not be as fun if these guys were not in it. but I know do a lot of reading. This scene was cut down a little bit more on the VHS. And it had some music. There was music playing over the scene in the VHS. Yeah, there's like some guitar stings like "Meow, meow, meow." And they don't shoot the gun. That is one thing I know for sure. In the VHS copy, they never actually shot the gun. It's so crazy seeing that this movie was completely re-edited because I was truly mind blown. I was well into my like probably 20s when I finally saw a version that was not my VHS copy and was shown what the actual movie was supposed to be. It shook me. You remember 6, 2. Yeah, this all that is all cut. Bummer. Yeah, them getting the address was not in the VHS cut. This was not in the VHS cut. Yeah, this is crazy. It's a kids movie and these guys are selling weapons on the black market and using ninjas as their private army. And these kids are going to stop them. I I certainly doubt I knew the stakes when I was watching this as a kid. Like now it's pretty obvious as an adult. These kids going into the final fight with all the ninjas and everything, they could easily just get shot and die or just be like beaten to a pulp by all the adult men that are on the boat. But that doesn't really sink in when you're a kid. I think you just expect them to make it out. I don't know. If anyone's watching this movie for the first time now or recently, I'm curious what you thought of the stakes going into this. If maybe these kids could die. God, that is so bad for you, Tum Tum. You shouldn't be eating a bag of candy before bed. Now, if that was scripted, that kid did such a great delivery of that. It sounded like he truly choked and that he just was like, I choked on a jelly bean. in in huge FBI jackets. Those guys must be feds or something. Tomorrow is another day, and those little dudes are ours. Slurpee? Slurpee? Dude. Fucking love these guys. Ooh, Grandpa's getting ready. He's warming up, showing he's still got it. Like, that's crazy. Him whispering to a sword implies that he's about to kill some motherfuckers. God, poor moms in 90s movies, they live in chaos. They have no order of like kids are yelling, you got to make it you got to make lunches, you got to find homework, you got to pack bags. Jesus Christ. Mom, you earned yourself a drink. Go have a beer and chill. Here we go. ET, eat your fucking heart out. This is my kids on bike scene, baby. Stranger Things can suck it. Oh, that soundtrack. This is what I think of when if I'm picturing a 90s kids movie, this is the music I'm thinking of. Everything's so like carnivally whimsical. Mr. Muffin Man, catch you later. Oh, I definitely saw some PA and like some crew in the reflection of that window. Oh, this was the coolest. Like this is the ET moment for sure. This is where they're doing like the big jumps and they don't know that they're outrunning. And I don't know why, but I always attributed that visual to the Super Mario Brothers. That's the kid is playing earlier in the TV. I was like, oh, that's like blocky and side scrolling, and then you see this, and like, oh, this is blocky and side scrolling. They're doing like a thing. The kids are playing like Mario Brothers in real life. Not you, the kids. Damn, sorry guys. I talked over my favorite moment. Slow it down, slowing, slow it down, slowing. Damn, I'm a little mad I talked over that bit, but it is so funny. Them crashing into the cop car. So yeah, that was definitely in the VHS. She always gets her bike stolen, but then in the basketball game, they win and get it back. So yeah, I'm guessing in order to just save time and make it so that they didn't have to show the boys lose their bikes and get their bikes back, they just decided let's just have them win the basketball game. They have the same Metallica sticker 3 times on that. Yeah, there's one right there on the wall, one on the window, and one on the phone. I don't know. I never stayed to the end. I vividly remember that joke going over my head as a kid and eventually understood understanding what he was implying. That even as a kid, they were troublemakers and would ditch school and never stayed into the end. I also have to put into context that when I watched this movie, it was on VHS on a TV that was poor quality and it didn't have like subtitles. So most of the time, dialogue is happening and I don't know what is happening. So when guys are telling jokes or saying stuff, I don't even know what they're saying. Spank you. Okay, so yeah, so far this is pretty much the same as the VHS. Yeah, this is how they start it. Music's different. The editing is a little bit snappier and the music over it is way different. Yeah, but so far it's pretty much the same. Now that is a different editing. This is the final shot in the movie. In the VHS copy, that is the final basket of the entire game and they win. But yeah, the slow push in, it's like a it's not necessarily that when it's when he's dribbling. It's like the tense moment of like, you got this, Rocky. Just one more basket. Maybe it was after that. It might have been after that push that he does his big dunk. And that's different too. The editing is so the final basket is he gets like thrown over some guy's back. Like he goes up for a shot and they kind of I don't know how to explain it. They get under his legs and throw him onto the ground. I think it's this shot right here actually. So he falls here and then he gets up and says shut up and then they make a basket and win. Cuz here when he does this in the re-edited version, he makes the basket. He still makes it. They don't make it. So yeah, they re-edit that to make it a little different. He falls, he gets up and says, "Rocky, shut up," and then he makes the basket that he shot initially, and then they make another basket and win. And then all of that is cut. It ends with him with Rocky doing the dunk and then doing the crowd like high five stuff, and then that's the end of the scene. So yeah, they edited a lot of that out. think the other big difference I'm noticing is the music. I don't remember the music being like this during this scene. No offense to the movie, but this feels more generic. This feels like the kind of spy sleuth music you would get from like a Beverly Hills Cop era movie. I don't know. And then we're back to the like it has that Halloween Town kind of vibe to it. Yeah, they knew how to make babysitters gross and ugly back in the day. Love that sweater, that little hoodie. Always wanted it. That is that is the perfect 90s graphic design. You sound a little stuffy, Colt. Colt sound a bit stuffy. Could use a looks like you could use a nose blow. No way. That's so funny. I was legit about to say like Grandpa's friends with the bad guy. No way. And then I forgot Tum Tum comes in and says that. Were they were friends, Colt. Relax. I love the kid logic of like the fear kind of getting blown way out of proportion. Because really, all they would have to do is tell Dad, "Hey, we saw Grandpa talk with this guy the other day. We don't really know what they were talking about. It looked a little weird. Maybe you should talk to Grandpa about it." Okay, I don't know if you've if you've seen this movie before, you might have picked up on it. If you never picked up on it before, I'm gonna blow your mind. The guy in the middle there, he only says "dude." The entire movie, his only line of dialogue is saying "dude." I'm curious if that is like a money thing. If it's like a one step above extra, where he could speak, but it's only the one speaking line, so they just milk the hell out of it to pay him less, or if it's just a joke where the guy only says "dude." Damn, I was coughing like her a second ago. Some kids called, and if you don't pay, we'll TP your house. Uncool, bro. Dude, sensitive. Much better. I'm starting to realize I think these guys imprinted a massive comedy style, like just a like comedy personality trait on me. I feel like I vibe with these guys so much because of this movie. They they made me one of their own. I forgot how TMNT it is. The kids be like, awesome. I mean, you really shouldn't. These are guys with guns. But again, it's that kid logic of, this is our house, we have to defend it. And you know what? 92, this came out same year as Home Alone 2, which this scene gives big Home Alone vibes with these crooks coming into the house and them using like the some stuff around the house to beat them up and fuck with them. This movie has good comedy. The like good comedy cuts like that where they're probably pretty nice kids and then there cuts to them looking for weapons to kill these guys. Whoa. Cool room. Truly, they have a badass room. This double walk-in closet that they have is rad. This huge desk. Yeah, I love this gag. I don't understand the what happens if he puts it on or somebody puts it on for him. Great reveal. But yeah, I was always like you're always waiting for the like you would assume one of the kids are hiding in the closet and put that on his head or something, but they're not hiding in that closet. So I assume he was just walking by and maybe saw it and put it on, and it's just supposed to be a funny sight gag. Yeah, they didn't do a very good job of checking. They didn't even check the that kid size cupboard drawer thing that Colt was hiding in. This scene is cool. Him in this room, because who knew that this movie was gonna throw in like a scary scene? It's not scary to us, the viewers, because we know it's Colt and they're doing the stuff. But from the perspective of the robbers, it feels like a haunted house. And it's a super cool touch too that Colt was smart enough to paint his mask white, turn his coat inside out so it's white, and get a white hat so he's like invisible in this white room. Because yeah, when you see this and when you see this reveal of the room for the first time, you're like, oh fuck, he's hiding in here somewhere. Jesus Christ, this is terrifying. God, the fact that he thought about golf clubs for even a second is crazy. He was about to go in there and start whacking knees, man. Yeah, I could probably bash someone's head in with this 9 iron. I'll just take the ties. Like these psycho kids. This kid came up with this weapon idea. I'm gonna tie my dad's silk ties together with keys and use them as like a grappling rope. There's no possible way he could be downstairs. You hit me! Now in the VHS, this is cut out. This is not in the VHS copy. Good. While these guys are on screen, good point. Good point to just say I love the '90s fashion. This being a '90s movie is such a fun, like time capsule for me. I was so little around this time that I don't really have a hard touchstone to it, other than these movies being like a representation of what was going on when I was growing up. Oh. That slide whistle sound effect is perfect. What's with the CDs? Kids today. What even are CDs? Wow, look at that stunt double. That clearly is a man in another man in a wig. But yeah, that is full on Home Alone logic there of dropping jelly beans on the floor and they trip on them instead of just absolutely smashing them with their boots. So yeah, the one thing I Jesus, they broke their parents' wall in. One thing I always noticed about Rocky in the first two, a little bit of the fourth one, Rocky is definitely the better fighter. They mentioned in the third movie that Colt is a little bit more on the wild side, literally because he is a wild horse. But he just kind of fights a little bit more like water. He's a little bit more fluid with it. He just kind of goes with the flow of the moves. While Rocky is much more of like, I have this in mind. I'm going to attack with this, do that. But yeah, I don't see Rocky kicking someone into a sofa and then going up and like just punching him a bunch. The dude getting choked out with the fire gripper is cut in the VHS. It just kind of cuts to them getting kicked and then that. And again, everything's just a little bit snappier too. Everything just cuts a little bit quicker on the VHS copy. I'm I'm noticing too. I think they edited around a lot of the gun stuff too, because that's cut. That part is cut from the movie of them pulling the guns out and getting beat up by Rocky. It just cuts from them walking in like this, essentially. Like they're getting genuinely scared now. Like I find that so funny that they are the ones with guns and they just got jump scared by a bunch of kids. Ugh. Ugh. The fact that it was like a creamy white substance going into dark soda, it just does not look good, man. There's no way it would blend in evenly. Injure them. Did? You couldn't pull that? You couldn't reach up and pull that string, dude? Yeah, did you not just see me almost get hanged to death? So now they're checking everything. If they'd done this the first time, they easily would have found those kids. So yeah, that was pretty much the end of that fight scene. Really good. It's much bigger than the one at the cabin. Cabin still has some movement. The grandpa's doing some cool shit with like the open space and the tree. The kids are doing cool stuff with the like workbenches and all the planters. But this one has the paint room, the kitchen, the stairway, everything to like there's so many different fights going on in this area and these guys get absolutely worked. It's really fun. So far that's number 1. Cabin number 2. We are going to be ranking I'm calling it now. We are ranking every fight scene in every Three Ninjas movie starting now. Shit, there are so many. I'm going to have to keep a list. I'll make a list after this movie and we'll take it over to the next one. I love it. Dumb, inept criminals is so funny. The Coen brothers made an entire career off of it. Jesus. See, I know it's a kids movie, but when shit like this starts happening, as an adult, it kind of takes me out of it. Like these grown men are three grown men are pointing guns at this child's head. Like I know the vibe is supposed to be goofy and funny, but the stakes of the reality of like just knowing like how a gun actually works and just like oh he could like somebody could actually just pull the trigger and blow her brains out. Not in real life, obviously, on set, but in a real situation of three kidnappers holding a gun to a little child's head. If that situation was real, everyone else would be like, "Oh, whoa, 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 put the guns down, put the guns down, whatever you want, whatever you want." Like they would all be freaking out. Not the stomach, Doug, not the stomach. Thanks. I love that guy. He might be. I think he's my favorite in the three, just because he has the most personality. This dude is just the dude guy. He didn't have the dialogue to be able to say not the stomach, not the stomach. I'll kind of just tack that on with the house and the crook. So that's just the last little bookend on the house fight. A nice little button finish with the not the stomach for the last little bit of comedy. Now I've been wanting to say it the whole movie, but he hasn't really been on screen much. This actor here, my grandpa actually knew him and was friends with that guy, the big guy on the right. Sadly, I never got to meet him because I don't know where that dude lived. He might have passed by the time I was watching these movies. I couldn't tell you. I didn't really look up much into that actor. It was just one of those funny stories of like, oh, I know the person that knows that person. Scary implication of the scene that preceded this of those those dudes being like super creepy and be like, "Hey, when the cops get here, give them this." Easy. We followed you. So am I on the payroll, Sam? Am I doing the goddamn federal bureau's work now? These actors were really good in this movie. It is a shame that they get sidelined so hard. I mean, the grandpa is a big part of 2 and 3, but I don't even think the parents are in the second one. And in Kickback, they are barely in it. Fourth one, they're barely in it. But they are the only characters. These three characters are the only ones that are in all four of these movies, and they don't get the due diligence. Like they should have gotten their flowers at the end of High Noon at Mega Mountain. They should have been like more of a key part of it, I guess. But what can you do other than get into a time machine and go back in time and change history? If they have guns, they're no ninjas. Hell yeah. You gotta love a ninja training scene like this. And they're all in black, so you know that they're bad guys. See, another little detail showing that Rocky is kind of the one that is a little bit more karate focused. He really appreciates all the martial arts that they are taught and really takes it to heart and wants to be good at it. I like that. I like that. Yeah, the fact that he was able to see them doing their drills and be like, "Hey, don't we, Colt? Don't you think we do that exact same drills with Grandpa?" Gotta love it. The the immediate knockout from a blow to the head. He sold us out. Colt, so easy to turn on Grandpa. I can't believe it, man. I would never say those things about my grandpa. Again, just really nailing the ew. Again, just really nailing the personalities of like he is the moody middle brother. Like he's he's got some beef and he wants to air his grievances. But the fact that they are brothers is a little weird because Rocky and Colt look like the exact same age. He would need to be a little bit older, or they're fraternal twins. And the movies literally never bring up the fact that Colt and Rocky are fraternal twins. It's for you. The old fool the guard with the phone gag. But yeah, that was another little moment there too of Rocky being the level-headed one. He's able to be calm and cool in the selected, calm, cool, and collected in the moment and find a way out. Yeah, now the bad guy's got his hair down. hair down in his and the Playboy uh what's Hugh Hefner looking bathrobe. Cool. I like that. I always liked that he gets revealed and they're immediately gone. It's some good camera trickery there. Oh, Jesus. They just bashed that man's head in with a pipe. Should we count that as a death or just massive head trauma and possible concussion and that man's going to be different for the rest of his life? Can we well, we can at least settle on that. Okay, and these men are getting beat with metal pipes and crowbars, so couple broken bones there. And they got kicked down the stairs, so that probably added some damage. So I don't think anyone's fully dead yet. I'm going to keep my eye out in case these kids kill anyone. This is all cut out of the VHS copy. I do not know this at all. Why you order? Jesus. Let's motor. Yeah, I think that last fight is completely cut, that last room, and it just goes into this. This area I like. Yeah, dude, they grab their own nunchucks and it's so badass. Colt is pretty cool. His is like not much different than a normal set of nunchucks using the metal pipe and the wiring of or the electrical wiring. But then Rocky just went like, I'm gonna ruin somebody's life today and got a wrench and like two socket wrenches and put those together. So yeah, he just like knocked out that dude's teeth. God, these stunts are impressive, man. Colt just stopped that with his hand and almost lost a finger with the to the sword. Did you see that? Yeah, Rocky is he's one of those fighters that's like, I got some power. I'm just gonna do this straight kick and knock this guy out and lay him into the fence. Like, I like it. I like how they have their different fighting styles, and I'm finally noticing that on this more like critical watch through. Here's their This is pulled right out of Indiana Jones. This is their Indiana Jones moment. Got him. Cause yeah, that's growing up. I always just assumed like, oh, it's like it's just some smoke, like some water vapor, whatever. But knowing how factories and boiler rooms and all this stuff works now, that was straight up boiling hot steam water. They just burned his eyes out and he's blind now. Aye. This was also, I think this was also cut from the. Yeah, they didn't do any fake out like that in the VHS copy. I think they might just find. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they just find him in a hallway like there. Actually, no, they cut around him finding the kids. I remember it just cuts to this. They just cut from that to that. I think it's the shot of the grandpa like walking into the hall before the kids see him, and then they cut to these guys walking in. Man, it's weird how much they cut away. We should kick their butts. Love it. Grown men falling for kid tricks. And there you go again. More examples of just like how different and how good these kids are at fighting. And these, like, no stunt doubles, man. These kids are doing most of this work. I haven't really been able to point out a moment where the kids have had a stunt double. That was probably this is the okay. First stunt double used. But they were doing all the nunchuck stuff. They've been doing all the punches and kicks. And yeah, they're able to showcase that Tum Tum is smaller, so he kind of has to use his size to his advantage by like kind of building up momentum to get into a hit, or by just doing like really small hits that throw a guy off balance. Whoa, cool flip. And that looked like Colt. That looked like the actor playing Colt. Not. Let's get out of here. Yeah, this dude is perfect. He is the ultimate henchman, like big henchman bad guy. And I believe when Grandpa shows up here, this was the first time the kids officially see him on the boat on my VHS copy. Yeah, because I think they have to throw in an ADR line of the kids being like, "Grandpa." You're trying, guys, but you're a little off. There, no, was that one? That might have been one. There you go. There we go. Light 'em up. Light 'em up, up, up. Light 'em up, up, up. Yeah, Tum Tum the battering ram. Yeah, and they do a good job too of always shooting that guy super low so he looks way more giant on camera. And on my VHS copy, this is where I felt like the stakes get raised and like I felt like a tone shift when those guys pull out all the guns on them because in my copy, like I said, they kind of edited around the guns a lot more. They aren't as prevalent. They don't shoot in the liquor store. They don't pull them out in the bedroom or in the living room during the fight. They don't. I mean, they still point them at the girl a little bit, but it's not as prominent. They kind of cut around that. I think it's not until this where you see like all the guns and you're like, oh shit, like this is serious now. And then definitely when the grandpa gets in his fight, the tone shifts drastically, and it's way more tense and way more scary, and you feel like he is about to die. No, great villain. I think I've said it a few times already, but yeah, he is just a perfect textbook evil bad guy. Great voice that bad guy has. I'm curious if you ever did like cartoon voiceover work. Have you been holding on to those in your fist the entire time? Oh no, he had the bag in his coat. But still, he's fighting. He's been walking around fighting all night with a big old bag of jelly beans hidden in that coat pocket. Here we go. Now this is where they just wanted the actors and the stunt doubles to just go ham and like show off what they've been working on this whole time. Okay, did somebody take that sword into the chest off to the side? I want to see the cut to the man off to the side with a giant katana in his chest now. So cool, man. This fight flows so freaking cool. Yeah, the flow from like hand to hand combat to swords to they start using like some of their little trick gadgets. The flow on it is just so freaking amazing and insane and not what you would expect from a kids movie. Again, just building great tension too. Like I said, I've watched this probably 100 times. I still get nervous that the grandpa could die. Yeah, he's starting to fight a little dirty now, but that's the ninja way. They have tools and tricks in their arsenal. It's all part of it. Killed him. He did. We're praying for your corpse, Grandpa. Sorry it had to end like this. You will be missed. Yeah. And the stunt double for the grandpa does a good job too, because even though it's most likely a pretty young dude in makeup and like costuming to make him look old, he still does a good job of selling that he is like an old man, like a hunched over old man trying to do those karate moves. It's really cool. Such a huge, tense build up, and then he gets shot, grabs his shoulder, and slumps over. I know it's a kids movie, but if you're gonna shoot a gun, make it like sell that you got shot by a gun. It must have been a really small caliber or a low velocity round or something. And I feel like I should just mention it just because I thought about it right now. The grandpa is also in one of my favorite movies, in case anyone was wondering where they recognized him from. He is in Tremors. He is one that coins the term graboids. Yeah, dude. I mean, what the hell are you coming over to me for? My kids and my grandpa or and my father-in-law were just involved in a very dangerous thing. They're a little traumatized. They're a little tired. They're a little beat up. I'm gonna go get them food and we're gonna go home. Can you fuck off, dude? Like my kids are here at the scene of the crime. I need to go take them home. So yeah, this is why they won the basketball game, because this is not in my final copy or the final VHS copy that I watched. Luckily, I was never one of the kids that got bullied in school, so I never had a reason to like learn to self defend myself. But I feel like if more kids had the VHS copy and had this on their copy of the movie, they might they might join karate lessons to learn some self defense. Yeah, it's so weird because on my copy the credits are over the family walking away from the ship at the very end. So they either had two finales in mind or they just for some reason filmed both of them with the big crane tracking up shot for credits to play over it. I don't know why. Anyway, that was the first Three Ninjas movie. I really hope you liked that one because settle in, we got three more Three Ninja movies after this. Up next, we are going to be doing Three Ninjas Knuckle Up. And I understand in the release date order, it's Three Ninjas 92, Three Ninjas Kickback released in 1994, and Three Ninjas Knuckle Up released in like 95, I think. That's not the way I watch it. I watch it Three Ninjas, and then Three Ninjas Knuckle Up is number two because that's clearly the second movie, and it really gets on my nerves when people think that Kickback is the second movie and argue that it is just because it came out second, but Knuckle Up is the second movie. They filmed it second. They filmed it directly after this movie because it has all three of the original kids in it. Rocky, Colt, and Tum Tum are all present. And they're relatively the same age. It doesn't look like much aging has happened. But then when you go from Knuckle Up to Kick Back, Colt is the only one that comes back, and he has aged clearly like 3 years. So it's, I don't know. I don't know why people get confused about that. It is so obvious if you have watched the movies. So next up is Three Ninjas Knuckle Up. I will be seeing you in that commentary track, everyone. Have a good rest of your day. We will see y'all then. Bye.